afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome Scottie Scheffler to the Media Center here at the AT&T Byron Nelson. Scottie, you'll be making your fifth start here at the tournament where you made your PGA Tour debut. Just get some opening comments on what it's like to be back here for a home tournament.
Yeah, home weeks are always nice. It's good to get to sleep in my own bed and just spend some time at home. We got a couple friends coming in this weekend, so good hang out with everybody. And always good to be back here at the Nelson. I've got special memories playing in this tournament, and so definitely excited to be back.
See, what have you been up to since making your first start since RBC Heritage? So what were you doing with some of the weeks off?
Not too much. Just trying to get some rest. I didn't do too much at home. I was just trying to relax and get a little practice in and pretty much just rest. I got pretty tired after the Masters, and that's pretty typical of a major. That kind of wear you down, and so it was good just get a little mental rest.
What's it like to have a home game to be able to sleep in your own bed this week?
Yeah, sleeping in the own bed is nice. I didn't come out here until today, which is unusual for me at a tournament. Usually I spend a lot of time at the course, but it's good for me to be able to practice at my home course and get some work in kind of off property where there's not as much going on, and definitely nice to be able to go home every night.
We'll go ahead and open up for questions. Same routine as always. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic over to you. Start off here in the front with Paul. Oh, go ahead. We have paul.com. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Scottie. Pretty much this year, everything statistically, strokes gained is improved other than the putting. Is there anything in particular you've seen with the putting where maybe that's a little bit behind the game, or anything you worked on in these last few weeks?
I mean, I just feel like I've seen a lot of putts that I've really thought were going to go in that haven't, and so I'm usually pretty dangerous when my putter gets hot, and so I've been working on it pretty good, and just hoping to see some putts go in instead of lipping out and maybe lipping in.
And just on a different topic, we know a lot about the relationship between you and your father and what that's meant to you. Just this weekend is Mother's Day weekend. Just wanting to know kind of the influence that your mom's had both on your golf career and then also just kind of your life in general.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was fortunate to grow up in a home with two parents that loved, all of us very dearly. And my mom was the one who was working and supporting our family financially, which I would say is a little bit different. My mom, she started working in New York City, and then her job took her down here to Dallas. And so she worked really hard for a long time to not only support my career goals, traveling around the country playing golf and stuff like that, but my sisters as well. And so my mom's obviously very special to me. And
just being her job was the reason you moved down to Texas. You ever think about how your golf career would have changed, or how your life would have changed if you guys stayed where you were?
I mean, I didn't really know any better. I'm sure my parents think about that, but I think they spend some time back in the city now. My mom's working up there again, and so I think they're enjoying kind of being back. They're empty nesters now, living in the city. I'm sure they wonder. They took a pretty big risk moving their whole family across the country. I think we were 8, 6, 4, and 2 when they moved, and so that's a pretty big change, especially when you got the 8 and the 6-year-old in school, and you take them out of school in the middle of the year, and pretty big risk. But our family loves Dallas, and it feels like home to me.
Go ahead. Second row right behind Paul.
Scottie, you've obviously had rest in this last month. How do you feel your game has been in that time as you enter this weekend?
Sorry. Going into the Masters, were you planning on taking a break, or did that just happen after you played in that tournament?
No, I planned out my schedule at the beginning of the year. With the new schedule and all the elevated events, I was able to kind of really plan where I was going to play. And so I know for the most part, pretty much every tournament I'm going to play the rest of the year. And so just that's how the schedule is set up.
We'll get a microphone over here to Art.
Hey, Scottie, I'm just doing a survey, so I just got a couple of real quick questions for you. When you're at home, do you watch golf on TV?
Not really. Sometimes on Sundays, if we're hanging out after church, I'll turn it on in the background if we're just doing stuff around the house. But I wouldn't say I watch too much golf.
What's your thought on if the tour went to a rolled back ball? The rollback the ball distance.
What's the question?
What's your thought if the tour went to a rollback?
Go ahead and
Roll back
the
ball. Cut the distance of the ball, kind of like the Masters. Yeah.
Oh, roll back the ball?
Yeah.
I'm not too opinionated on it at the moment. I think I'm more interested in kind of the golf course design side of things. I think a lot of the golf courses that they've changed over time is to help with the length, but then they take out a lot of trees and the areas get bigger to hit in, and all you got to do now is just send it. And so the golf course design is more of a culprit to guys trying to hit it really far. I mean, look at Hilton Head, look at Colonial. Those golf courses have stood the test of time, and they got stuff in the way, and it's more of a placement golf course. Look at the players. Guys can't overpower that one, and so it's more of a golf course design thing than it is a golf ball deal.
And what's your thought, kind of yay or nay, on no-cut event? A tour event that has, no cut?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It depends how many guys you put in the field and stuff like that. I mean, when you got 156 guys in there, yeah, I'm definitely a big proponent of having a cut in the event. But when there's only 70, I mean, how much more can you really cut guys down?
And we'll give the microphone right to Taylor Ryan right behind.
All right. Just wanted to ask you about the PGA Championship coming up next week, about your thoughts on Oak Hill. Have you played it before? And if you have, your thoughts on the course.
So I've never played Oak Hill. I've been to Rochester once before for an amateur tournament, and it was in June, and I remembered it was really cold. So that's kind of all I remember. But I know that it's a great golf course. I've heard it's very challenging. I think Teddy was telling me that Duffner maybe set the record at Oak Hill last time the tournament was there at like 10 under. So a record for a tournament being 10 under means it's typically pretty difficult. Now, I could be totally wrong on that, but it sounds like it's a hard course.
Hey, Scottie. Right here. I spent a couple hours a few weeks back with Mike Taylor and John Hatfield, a couple guys that said that they worked on your clubs growing up. Just talk about that impact that they had on you as a young kid going to the Nike R&D facility out there in Fort Worth, and the impact that they had on your game as a kid.
Yeah, I was very fortunate that Nike just treated me very well from a young age, and they were always supporting me and helping me with my equipment and getting out there and getting to work with guys that are true professionals when you're 13, 14 years old, and getting to learn about golf clubs and how they design them and getting to test them out. I mean, I can't really describe how much of an impact that had because it was so significant, and I love being able to work with those guys. I mean, they're so talented, and they had a huge impact on my golf career, and Nike really as a whole just treat me good from a young age.
Do you have a personal relationship with either of those guys, Mike Taylor or John Hatfield?
Yeah, so I used to use Mike's wedges out here on tour, and I know John, and they've helped me from time to time. I hadn't seen them in a little while, but like I said, they helped me from a young age, so I'll probably never forget those guys.
And microphone right behind you there.
You mentioned earlier that it's unusual to wait until today to come out here. What was the reasoning behind that? Just trying to take a little longer break? You know the course really well and didn't need to play. What were you thinking?
I mean, I know the course pretty well, and it's easier for me to practice at my home course than it is out here. Pretty much it.
Every course is unique, but they got a Rant 17, little stadium style. What did you think of that when you saw it today?
So I haven't seen it yet this year. I played the front nine today. I heard did they build another level?
What was that?
17.
17.
Did they build another level on 17 out here? It's okay. Did they build another level? Yeah. I heard they did. So, yeah, last year it was awesome. And so if they build another level on it, it could only enhance the fun, right? So, yeah, looking forward to it. I'll be surprised tomorrow when we see it. I don't know. I think we're late tomorrow, so it should be a good crowd.
Time for a final few. Microphone back over to Taylor. Oh, we'll go in the back first. Very back.
Hey, Scottie, Newey Scruggs, NBC5. You spoke about playing here as an amateur. What is it like now coming back here as a major champion and a headliner that they're using Scottie Scheffler as a reason to come out here and watch the Byron Nelson?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit different than when I came here in high school. I feel like I'm a little bit more a part of this thing than I was then, but I was just fortunate to get a spot and be able to come out and play. And now I guess coming full circle out here is a little different scenario, and it's a lot of fun being able to play in front of the home crowd. And now that I've had some success out here on tour, there's a lot more people that will show up to watch me, which is great. And I'm fortunate to be able to come out here and support an event that supported me from a young age, and I'm looking forward to going out there and playing in front of the home crowd and hopefully making some birdies.
All right, we know you're a pretty big Office fan. We just wanted to know which character you think you relate to the most on the show.
Gosh, that's a tough one. Which one do I want to relate to the most? I feel like when you get a comedy show, it's I got to be careful trying to relate too much to the characters in the show. Gosh, I don't know. I'm going no comment on that one.
we're taking final two set of questions. We have here in the back right.
You played with Marty today. He talked to you. You've known him since known him since you were a little kid. Just talk about playing with him today, and have you been keeping up with the stars?
Oh, playing with Marty. Yeah, so Marty was a member of Royal Oaks where I grew up, and rooting hard for the Stars. The games are coming on a little bit late for me, though. Hopefully they keep making it further and further so I can stay awake for the games. But a lot of fun playing with Marty. You know, he's retired now, but he's always treated me nice, and it's fun just getting to hang with him. And go Stars.
And close with the final set questions back here.
Scottie, I've heard you say quite a few times you still feel like the same guy that you did a couple of years ago before you found all the success out here on tour. I'm wondering what you've learned about yourself and maybe the connection between mental health and mental wellness off the course and the success that you found on the course.
Yeah, well, for me, golf doesn't define who I am as a person. You know, if I shoot 75 tomorrow out here in the tournament, I'm not going to be defined by the 75, and it's going to be the same thing if I shoot 59. I'm not going to be any different because I played good or if I played bad. You know, golf's just something that I do, doesn't define who I am, and that's pretty much how I'm trying to live. And so I don't want to change just because I'm good, and I definitely don't want to change if I start playing bad. And I value the opinions of people close to me, and that's what's most important.
Not to throw you too much of a curveball here, but putting a piece together on Muirfield Village and just wondering about that 18th hole and the finishing challenge that it presents.
Yeah, I feel like every hole is hard at Muirfield. It doesn't really give you much of a break, and I like the uphill par 4 to finish. I think that's fun. I think with new golf course design, that's kind of rare. I don't know if I'm 100% correct on that, but the nice uphill finish is cool. You got to hit the fairway. If you don't hit the fairway, you're going to be in trouble. And if you do hit the fairway, then you're trying to hit a shot into that green, which is also really difficult. And it's a hole where you can make a birdie to win, or you can just as easily make a bogey to lose.
Perfect. That's all the time we have for questions. Thanks for taking the time to join us. Good luck this week, Scottie.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Kind of a roller coaster round. You had a hot start, then the putter kind of went cold, but then you rebounded well at the end. How key was getting those birdies and that eagle back at the very end and that closing stretch?
I was pretty frustrated mid-round. I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. I just kind of got on the wrong end of a few things, and the putts definitely weren't falling middle of the round, but the beginning and the end, everything was going in. So, I remember those putts towards the end at the beginning of the round. I hit a lot of good putts today, and was fortunate to shoot a good round.
I asked you about it yesterday, just kind of the putting and whether you felt like it was just hitting a lot of good putts and they weren't going in. Was that kind of similar to how it felt today?
Yeah, I mean, I hit two really good putts on 9 and 10 that the one on 9 just hopped extremely hard off my line. And then on 10, I hit another really good putt. And then I would say I probably hit a bad putt on 11. And outside of that, I hit a lot of good putts today. And so I'm pretty happy with how it performed. Obviously, I wish I didn't have so many bogeys, but it was... The golf course isn't super challenging, but when the wind is up, golf gets pretty difficult. And so hopefully I'll be able to keep a cleaner card tomorrow.
When you see someone putting up 11 under before you barely even get on the course, does that change a mindset early on in a first round?
Not really. It's a long tournament. And, the guys this morning, I would say they probably didn't have as much wind as we did in the afternoon. And so I think you saw that with the scores. There definitely wasn't 11 under out there in the afternoon. But outside of that, just try to go up there and put a solid round of golf and know that it's a long tournament. And you got to make a lot of birdies, but it's still golf. You got to play really solid and try to keep the mistakes to a minimum.
I know you wanted to be surprised on number 17. What were your thoughts on the par 3 setup that they had with the stadium built up around it now?
It was good. A lot of fun. Whoever was doing the music back there, I did not like the music out there today. So whoever's in charge of the aux out there needs to change it up a little bit. But outside of that, it was awesome. It was a great setup. I mean, it's a really fun place to have the fans out there, and it was a good environment.
What'd you see on your second shot on 18 to kind of get an eagle look?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a full through, and I actually barely caught it in the heel, and fortunately it got through the wind, and that's one of those ones when you're hitting a shot from that far away, you're really just trying to hit on line and see what happens, and I was fortunate. It finished up there about pin high, and then hit a really good putt that went in.
The eagle at 6, did you see the ball go in?
I think I barely caught the end of it, but the crowd was right there, and so it was pretty obvious when it went in, which was definitely a nice feeling.
Because you're pretty nonchalant about it, almost like a walk-off homer where you knew off the bat it was good.
Well, I definitely did not know off the bat that chip was going in. That was a pretty challenging spot down there, and it's kind of a nice amphitheater around that green. You have the stands there in the back, and there's a lot of people on the right side, and so my chip landed in a really good spot, and then you could kind of hear the crowd going their volume raising as the ball got towards the hole, and then they all celebrated when it went in. So it's always fun.
You and Ted had a nice little handshake.
Yeah.
600 through 6 there. What does your mind start thinking about anything, or just think it was a great start?
Just a great start. I was just trying to continue it, and then unfortunately I had a 3-putt and then didn't take advantage of the par 5, and then I had a couple more bogeys, and fortunately I finished off the round really nicely to kind of get back out in front of where I was, just because after the great start there were still some gettable holes that I needed to play, and I wasn't able to take advantage of them, but I finished really strong.
Looking at the forecast, knowing there's a potential for some nasty stuff, how nice is it to be in your own bed?
It's good, yeah. Hopefully the weather stays out, but we'll see what happens.
Did want to ask you, there was a video going around today of you and Tiger Woods on a range, and you were reacting to him not taking divots on the range. I don't know how long ago that was, but was there any backstory to that, or
no? I was
pretty
just
much
wondering.
what it was?
No, I was just wondering why he wasn't taking any divots, and he said he always does that. And I kept asking about it, and he didn't give me an answer. That's pretty much
Thanks,
it.
Scotty.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Scotty. Just a little bit less of less bogeys on this round today. What was kind of working that you kind of keep it a little cleaner today?
Yeah, just solid golf. I mean, I didn't really struggle for too many pars out there, and I felt like I putted a little bit better today than I did yesterday.
You and Ryan Palmer right up at the top of the leaderboard. I asked him just about what he remembers from first meeting you. When do you first remember meeting Ryan, and what kind of impact did he have on you early on?
I don't remember the first time I met Ryan. I feel like he's been around for a while, and I was young when I met him. But yeah, we work out together here at home when we're both in town, and play a little bit of golf as well. And so he's been a good guy for me to be able to bounce stuff off of as I turn pro. I mean, he's been out here for quite a long time, and so it's someone I always want to learn from. If you can have a career as long as Ryan's out here on tour, you've done some things pretty well.
You guys share a mutual coach, Randy. He kind of detailed a little bit for what he's been going through recently. Just kind of from your perspective, just want to know how he's doing and kind of what his prognosis was kind of with the back injury.
Yeah, Randy's doing good. He had a pretty serious surgery, but I think it's going to be good for him in the long run. It's going to be a little bit of a rehab process, but we're trying to get him to stay patient. It's hard sitting around at home when you're not feeling too great, especially for Randy. I mean, he's been a worker his whole life, so he'll be back at it soon, but we're just trying to get him to stay as patient as possible.
Did that happen just a couple weeks ago? When did that surgery happen?
He had surgery a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Is he able to help you still, or are you kind of going,
Yeah, Randy's kind of, he's all kinds of coaching. So he can help me no matter how he's feeling.
Scotty, if you could just talk about yourself and RP being on top of the leaderboard and kind of what that means for our area and the community, having a chance to pull for you guys on the weekend.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully the hometown fans will be out there tomorrow, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the leaderboard. I don't know what the weather's going to look like this afternoon, and it's still early on Friday, but we'll see what happens as the weekend shakes up. But I don't think that we'll be too far behind. We're definitely in a good spot going into the weekend.
You have had fantastic control of your golf ball, especially in terms of ball striking. Is there a feel or something that clicks for you when you know it's going to be that way, like it has been these first two rounds?
Yeah, usually I can just kind of feel where the club is in my hands really well, and then I'm able to see and create a lot of different shots, and that's kind of how I've always played, is just by seeing and trying to create shots. And so when I can have a really good awareness of where the club head is, then I can start hitting it pretty good.
Jordan's made no secret of his desire to win this tournament. How would you rate your own desire to win this tournament?
Yeah, I want to win. I want to win a lot of tournaments. This one being in the hometown, it would definitely be a lot of fun with the crowd, behind me this weekend. And but that's not stuff that occupies too many of my thoughts. I want to place too much emphasis on one tournament. I just want to go out and do my best and see where that puts me.
One more, Scotty. I know you had the 4:20 a.m. wake-up call this morning. You said it was a little different. You don't normally wake up that early in your own bed. We're going to see more of that? I mean, you played pretty well. It didn't hurt you at all, I guess, is the point.
Yeah, it didn't hurt me. I mean, I woke up ready to go. I mean, usually if I was waking up 4:20 on a regular Monday after a tournament, I definitely wouldn't be in a good mood. But when you're waking up to come play a golf tournament, it's a little bit of a different feeling.
All good. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Scott.